Well, hello there guys, we are back in Iron Conflict. Now this is a game that I have actually been looking at for a long time, and if you guys will remember, we actually did a video on this not too long ago, and we're back. Now this is a 10v10. Some people are not, of course, going to be into that particular approach. 10v10 is very similar to games like World of Tanks, World of Warships. The thing that I love about this particular game is the ability to create a true army here and work together with other strategy gamers to achieve victory. I just really love that aspect of it. Instead of just having one ship, one plane, etc., in this case we actually get to select 3 different units which make up different formations and fight with those. Now obviously over time you're going to unlock bigger, better, badder units. Right now we're pretty much stuck with an MA-26, an MA-24, some, not light tanks, they're decent, but of course we could get much stronger stuff. Now if we go down to Dragon, these are more, I guess you could call them Asian units. It looks almost like the DPRK or possibly even China, especially in terms of the fighters, the actual land infantry, and the artillery. So interesting looks here. They are coming out with Lion and Bear soon, and I do believe these all correspond to sort of certain countries. Eagle seems to be sort of a desert approach, kind of like the United States in Iraq, Afghanistan, whereas Dragon seems to be more China. So we could get some pretty interesting things here. In any case, we are jumping into a game now, and we are going to be playing with my first formation here, which I think is pretty good. 1 attack plane and 2 decent tanks. Let's see. But first, let's get a look at the tech. And of course, this is just the currently available tech. There will be more coming out. We're very much noobs. And I'm hoping with time we'll be able to unlock some even better stuff. And you can see some pretty amazing fighter aircraft, bomber aircraft, and again, just for Eagle. If we go to Dragon, we're going to have an entirely different sort of tech tree here, going all the way to heavy artillery, and I mean heavy artillery, including some pretty incredible air defense. If we look over here, we've even got a ballistic missile. So they're not kidding around when they're talking about heavy arty. What I'm really trying to do is actually work up my Eagle here. I want to get all the way to the MMA 72G air defense missile. I've seen it in action and it's a lot of fun to use. Alright, we've got that 10-man battle going, guys. A lot of people here from actual China, and of course a lot of people over here in the Western world, Europe, the United States. We're all trying this new game out. Now as you can see, I can actually get right up behind my men. This wasn't available before. We can even zoom all the way up and get a proper view, but I really prefer to keep things like this. And something that I like to do, I don't know if this is going to be considered kind of a cheap approach when the game becomes more mainstream, but I like to kind of wait back a minute or two, let the battle get underway, and then sort of come in as a replacement unit. In this case, we are going to move on with our actual team and hope for the best. Now, this game does have, actual physics destruction. These buildings can be destroyed. These fields can be set on fire. All of this can actually occur in-game, and I do love that about it. Is again, sort of reminds me almost of Wargame Red Dragon on a smaller scale with 10 friends. That's the way I kind of see this, and I hope that's how it's going to be on full release. Now you can see here we're already having some issues with some of the other air units. I'm going to send in the FAH and actually try to attack the hypersonic here. Usually I use the FAH for ground targets, but as you can see, this thing is nice, getting us some really beautiful shot damage, and we are going to go into the air and just do as much damage to the enemy as possible. I really want to take out that hypersonic. Come on, yes! One down. We're going to go for this fellow here. I think you guys can read that name. YouTube's not going to be too happy with it. And I'm going to actually attack the ground unit. But this is actually quite dangerous, keeping our air units here. They're sure to have some AA. So let me just pull back for now and actually wait for our tanks to get here. Always nice to take out an air unit like that. You can also look across the line and see if there are any other battles going on. There is currently one going on to the west of us, but I kind of want to focus just on our area here. If we focus too much on other areas, it's quite easy for the enemy team to push through and, of course, flank the rest of your forces. So we're going to get Agrippa's tanks up there on that highway, and I already see some trees breaking, so I know the enemy's going to have something here. There we go. Yep, sure enough, it's a Falca MA-26. It's one of our own tanks. Essentially very similar to, well, exactly like the tank we're using, although this one could potentially have some upgrades that we're not aware of. And as you can see, one of our units down. That's too bad. We're going to go after the MA-26 once again. Yes! That's going to be a kill. And I definitely want to continue fighting against the C-58 right there. My plane is also targeting it, so pretty good. Now, obviously, just like any 10v10 game, the more kills you can get, the more damage you can do to the enemy. Not just about kills, but really the more points you can get per match. So, for instance, if you can take objectives quickly, this is what you're looking for, and it's going to unlock upgrades later. So, potential upgrades for, you know, in terms of just, you know, moving a tank up from an MA-26 to an upgraded MA-26 or a different tank. All of these things are going to be even more likely if you get more kills, if you stack up that point count. I'm going to go ahead and move over here with my boys. They're not doing any good on that highway, and we are going to target the enemy attacking right here. Got an enemy scout unit. Doesn't seem to be, like, something very dangerous, but for anybody that's played sort of a wargame simulator like Red Dragon, you understand that scout units are probably one of the most dangerous things on the map. They pretty much let the enemy air units know where we are, they let the enemy artillery know where we are, and it leads to a whole lot of problems. Like that one right there, as you can see. Just completely wiped out a group of our friends there without much issue at all. So we want to watch out for those scouts, we want to keep that overwatch going. And let's see where the FAH is. So we got an MA-26 at the end. Good, that wasn't me, but good shooting by our ally here. And look at that, C-58 is a ZGP. I believe this is an anti-aircraft weapon. Whatever the case may be, our tank is probably about to go down here. So I'm going to bring in the FAH, and no, they got our baby. They got the FAH, guys, and there we go. The MA-26 down as well. Now, you might ask yourselves, so what do you do now? You can, of course, tour the battlefield if you'd like. The game is going to continue on without you, but we're going to head back to the lobby. And just like any 10v10, when we're back in the lobby, our actual vehicles are going to start repairing themselves. But the great news is we can take an entirely new formation. So you can see here that this is my first formation. I'm going to select another one. I can actually go for Dragon if I'd like. I haven't tried out the Dragon forces yet. Or I can stick with Eagle and try to increase my skill with the artillery and the anti-air. I actually think this isn't such a bad idea to go this route because, again, I was trying to upgrade Artie, and I also wanted to upgrade our bombers. So possibly bringing in a BA-29 and hoping for the best. Let's see. Now, the formation system is something I really do enjoy, and we've got actually some set formations up here, but I want to just go ahead and basically show you guys how you do that. So we're going to go ahead and set a new formation here over in the formation screen, and we'll show you guys basically how it's done. This is actually the formation I set for my Dragon bomber attack force. We even got artillery here, but let's assume we want to make a new formation. So let's jump in here, and I'm going to make something that's going to focus here on the Dragon forces. We really haven't used them much, and we're going to go for like an ultra offensive approach. So the fighter, the tank, and the artillery piece. I think that's a pretty good setup. We could try that out. Now we save that. That request is saved. And of course, as you unlock more and more vehicles, you know, infantry units, etc., you're going to get more choices to add to this formation list. Let's assume some of your guys have been in a battle, like our guys recently were. They're going to be repaired while you're waiting. Now, you could always spend silver, which you do earn in-game, to repair things faster. I obviously prefer to not spend silver. And this is one of those games, just like War Thunder, any of those other games, it does have a pay-to-play aspect to it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's something that I'm not particularly hugely a fan of, but if that's how they want to make their money for the game, as long as it's an enjoyable game, I'll be just fine with that, and I'm going to stick to my point system. So let's join a battle here with our new formation. I want to try these guys out, see how they do, and take our dragons out for a nice little stroll. Alright, we've got the pre-battle setup. Now, we always get this sort of sideways version. Once the battle begins, you can, of course, do what we did in our first fight and go ahead and just get right behind your men. Sometimes this is a pretty good approach, especially if you're trying to see how your entire army is doing over multiple points. So, of course, we can, of course, switch back. I kind of prefer this. and let's move forward. Now, obviously, with artillery, we don't want to get that too close to the front lines. Really, the only things we want to get close to the front lines are our air units, and even then, we want to be pretty damn careful. So let's just take our arty unit over here. Once you take a look over here at the launch mode, this allows us to actually turn it into a proper artillery piece, and then we can start firing shots. Until then, this thing is pretty much a glass cannon. If it gets hit at distance, well, you saw the intro to this video. It gets absolutely obliterated. Let's jump over to the L5. All right, let's move up with these guys. We're just going to kind of scout ahead. Now, you need to make sure to know basically which one of your units is going to be the scout unit, which one's going to be the attack unit. I'm pretty sure that the S5 is going to be our scout. So we're going to push forward here. With the S5, we'll keep the L5 on overwatch. He's already got a target, and we're going to take him out. Come on, son. And this is the first time we've tried our dragon units, so I'm liking this. And I can't help but notice that it looks a lot like a MiG. A lot like a MiG. Let's get these guys back. We don't just want to leave them here. Then they become open targets, especially for enemy AA guns, things like that. Let's focus on the bomber. Taking out a bomber is going to be extremely valuable, and as you can imagine in this game, you can unlock some pretty devastating bombers, which could even wipe out our forces. So I love that. I'm still going after their air units. If we can wipe them out now, beautiful. And so far, we're just getting points for our team here with the L5. I love it. Keep it going, son. He is a nimble sumbitch. All right, let's get back. Let's get back. Yeah, we're taking fire from the AA. That's never good. So let's get over to our actual artillery piece. I think I want to be a little bit closer and maybe even behind some buildings before I actually launch this baby. And we've got some splash damage on one of our planes. They've definitely got us under attack. Now, again, one thing I love about that formation system is the fact that you can play however you want. If you want to go all aircraft, you can do that. If you want to go all artillery, you can absolutely do that. I like to be just basically a cannon from far away sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and get into launch mode with my beautiful artillery piece, and we are going to start aiming shots. Now, of course, to actually hit a target, we've got to spot it first. Don't currently have... Oh, I do, but to be honest with you, we're still going to take the shot, but as you can see, he's pretty damn close. And I love that overview thing. So as soon as you take that shot, you actually get a visual of the location, which allows you to really take the best one possible. We're going to go ahead, and a nice kill for the artillery. Don't mind if I do. This is one of the reasons I built an artillery-only formation. One of my other formations. It's just too fun. You can actually see the artillery start to kind of center now. And that's when we want to let that shot go. And look at that, another unit down. Meanwhile, I haven't been really paying attention to my planes, but if you look there, we can see their health. So we know essentially how they're doing. But of course, to take the shot with the arty, we really have to let this thing center. And as you can see, I'm trying to get the enemy vehicles here. I know for sure they've got vehicles, but man, this is where we get into danger zones. I guess we'll focus on just the tank. Obviously, taking out an M4A1 would be helpful, but I don't think that this is a powerful enough artillery gun to completely kill him. We could certainly damage him quite a bit there. A little bit of splash damage, but besides that, I'm not sure. I'm almost certain he'll also be getting out of the way after that. Still going to move back and take a look at the area. All right, let's get to our planes. Yeah, he's already actually got some targets, but they are ground targets. And as for the spy plane, you know, all he can really do is just kind of get a nice visual on the area. But actually, when you have spy planes in conjunction with your artillery, that can work wonders on the field. I'm going to go for this guy because he's pretty weak. There we go. We can definitely destroy this target. And again, that's a soft target, probably a towed artillery gun, until he actually gets out of that position. And there we go. Yep, he got out. Could even be an AA gun. Not sure, but don't care right now. I just want to get that kill. Let's do it, baby. Yes. We got Peludo, and now we're going to go for the tanks. Even though we're not doing much damage to these tanks, we are going to still continue this, this pattern. So once again, an aimed shot. Let him get comfortable. Now you can see that as we're going quite far on distance, it is taking a little bit longer for us to center that shot. That's quite normal. And I don't even know if we'll hit him at this distance. It takes quite a while for it to actually get there. But you just need to try and get, of course, targets of opportunity in this game, especially in a situation like this. Where are these son bitches? I see one, I see one, I see one. Oh, good shooting, boys. That was not me. I don't get to take credit for that. But I think that went pretty well. Alright, let's focus just on our aircraft now. And again, we could use that spy plane to really get a visual to our men. It looks like most of our allies are over here, so we're going to push north and really try to take a look at the enemy. Now, obviously, capturing the enemy's position does end the game, but just holding our current positions until the timer runs out and having more points is another way to get that victory. In fact, I think I'm going to wrap up here. Could take a few more aimed shots, but I think it's time to go back into launch mode and get just that much closer to the enemy. Of course, anytime we do this, this guy can easily get killed. All it takes is one good shot by just about any enemy vehicle, and a track unit like that is going to go down pretty quickly. Good shooting, boys. I think it's pretty clear that our men have control of this battle, and now, as you can see, that victory march to the end. The enemy had no chance here. Keep moving with our units here. We've even got my name there, Agrippa. I wanted to actually turn westwards and fire at this SZLP, but I don't know if we can fire behind. I'm gonna try, or at least like over here to the west. I am gonna try to take out that target. Good shooting. I was not able to get the hit visual, and if you look there on the target reticule, you can see that red portion in front. So he actually got cover from being in that wooded area. So one other reason to actually use the terrain to your advantage in this game. I like that. Oh, we're way too far to hit this guy. We'll fire just for the hell of it. And there we go, boys. That is going to be a victory there in Iron Conflict. I know it's just me and a few other folks who've got these early access keys, but we've certainly been having quite a bit of fun here. Just going back and forth, trying different formations. And there we go. The enemy has been annihilated. We get that unit XP boost. We get silver rewards. Just absolutely wonderful. And we also get a potential reward boost down here. It also gives you the team details in terms of assist damage, kills, direct damage, etc. Every single day there are missions that you could do to get some additional silver, things of that nature. In any case, guys, I really do hope that you guys will take a look at this game. I think it's just, you know, it's always fun to see a game like this and see if it can actually break the muster of that pay-to-play approach initially. And I think this one can, as long as people, of course, support it. And we really do get a lot of other generals in the battlefield here to try to take on the enemy. Again, my main focus is going to be the air defense missiles and the ballistic missiles. I can't wait to get these guys, but it's going to take quite a while. Thanks so much for stopping into this Iron Conflict video, and if you want to see any more of the game, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget you can get information on Iron Conflict on Steam. It's still in early access, but will be released fairly soon. Thanks again, folks.